The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is brought to you by Bayer Aspirin, the official sponsor of fans' hearts.
Ron Magill, for those of you who do not know, is a world-renowned photographer. You do all these humble things where you come around, but you are, if you had to prove to the people that you have a keen eye for the animal kingdom photographically, you would do so with which awards, Magill?
You know, awards are subjective, Dan. It's one of these things. Listen, the biggest award I have really in photography is that tattoo on Mike's leg. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I've gotten some nice awards. I've gotten, some, Emmy awards and some communicator awards, and I got the Hermes. I mean, I got several awards. I won, International Wildlife Federation's first place award.
No, I asked him.
There you go. I know that you're hunting for that, but
no, I asked him because you could give me a long list that would suggest that you're one of the world's great nature photographers, correct?
Well,
by being on my leg.
I'm a lucky nature photographer. You can hardly take a bad image in the places I get to go and the animals I get to see. There are nature photographers that are much, much better than I am, and have not been fortunate to have the platforms that I have to show my photography. Right. And now I got, Mike Ryan's leg is at one of the greatest galleries on the planet.
Ron, what makes a great...
That's in no way true. That's in no way true.
Flanagan's Cup's got to go next to that.
Put it on the poll, please. Is Mike's real estate some great flattery?
It really is. Listen, when you are inspired to have photograph permanent on your body forever, come on, Dan, that's a huge compliment.
Ron, what makes a great nature photographer? Because I think a lot of us, we go and we take photos, but I'm actually curious, how do you interact with your subject in a way that gets the best out of the subject?
Well, I think that's the key. You don't interact with your subject. You've got to be patient. You've got to wait. The best nature photographs are the ones taken when animals are doing things naturally, not when somebody's in a vehicle going, making all kinds of stupid noises so the animal looks at you. It's catching a natural behavior. That one image that inspired Mike's tattoo there, you'll notice that the giraffe are not looking directly at the camera. It's mother and daughter next to each other, kind of looking a little bit off to the side. And that's what you want. You want a natural pose of a mother being protective of her baby. And, it's great. And, for those who know Mike has a beautiful wife, a beautiful daughter. That means even more to me because of that.
All right. We've got some video for you here. I need to show, because I've seen some amazing nature video before, but the giraffe running when anything tries to attack a giraffe, how do you guys feel when you see a lion or a tiger trying to attack a giraffe?
I've seen a giraffe kill a lion.
I think you would you take a giraffe in the average fight with a lion because the lion can't, hold up when the giraffe starts running like that? Not a single one.
An adult giraffe against a lion, one lion, no. I think the giraffe has the advantage, on over 50% of the time. Having said that, lions usually hunt and prize, and there's usually more than one lion, and that's the reason why they're, generally speaking, more successful against a single giraffe. But I have personally seen a giraffe kill a lion, kick a lion in the back, and break her back, and she died.
Damn.
You would take a giraffe, 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times?
I would take a giraffe 7 out of 10 times against a single lion.
What would be the greatest, in terms of fights like that, where you would give the most contrary opinion? Most people, I think, would assume a lion would win that fight. So what is your more controversial opinion than that one?
Well, when you say win a fight, understand that the giraffe, I consider the giraffe runs away alive. It's not the giraffe is going to fight the lion and try to kill the lion. The giraffe is simply trying to defend itself while the lion's trying to kill the giraffe. So there's two different goals there, both different animals. If the giraffe survives, the giraffe wins in my book. Now, as far as other confrontations, you could look at some of these, a big cobra against a little mongoose. A lot of people would think, "Oh, come on, this is one of the deadliest snakes in the world. It's got a quick strike." And more often than not, this little weasel-like animal is smart and quick and will kill that snake. The same thing with the secretary bird. This is a fantastic bird that sometimes will eat some of the deadliest snakes in Africa because it uses its wings to decoy the snake into biting the feathers, which of course do not transmit the venom. And then it stomps it with its foot and grabs it behind the head. It's just technique. It's all the mode that it has. So you have a bird, long-legged little bird, killing one of the deadliest snakes in Africa and eating it.
Secretary
Hey, that's
Bird.
good. That's a good one, Tony. That's the way they do it. That's exactly the way they do it, Tony.
It's kind of like,
I
oh,
mean,
you can't get me. You can't get me. Can't get me.
Exactly. Well, like, strike at my wings because the feathers don't hurt.
Secretary Bird, the official bird of Sudan. On the Sudanese passport,
Wow.
that's the bird that's on
Wow. This is what I like about this show.
Yep.
It is just a bastion of education.
there. Absolutely.
Mustard seed, yeah.
Ron, I got a question for you about horses. Why do horses respond to... What is it about that sound that a horse is like, you know what? Hey, that guy's spitting right now.
Diablo didn't, but that's okay.
You know, I don't really know, to be honest with you. I mean, I've ridden horses all my life, and that's exactly what I do too. And as a matter of fact, I do it to the point where I've never had to really kick a horse. You know, when you say kick a horse, you use your heels to kind of give it a little nudge on the side to get it going. Yeah, you know, a good horse will respond just to that sound or just loosening the reins. You know, you can speak to a horse just the way you hold the reins and just the way you use your legs, leaning one side to another. You can do things without ever having to use a spur or a kick. But I don't know what it is about that sound. I think it's just something that's been passed down from generation to generation, and maybe as horses have become domesticated over the years. Because if you go out in the middle of a field with a bunch of horses grazing and you go, they might look up at you. They don't start running.
Wow, okay. What about...
Only when on top of the horse.
What about is the same question for cats? Why do the cats like the kissing sound?
They don't like that so much.
I don't think cats really like that sound.
No?
I think cats are just very attentive to their environment. When you make any kind of strange sound, they're going to pay attention to you, just because they're very, very attentive to their environment. Or predators.
Let me
It
play.
sounds like a possible prey object. You know, whether it be a mouse, whether it be a bird, whether it be something making that type of sound.
Yeah.
What was Michael Jackson doing?
You said any weird sound would get their attention,
was
so Michael
that?
Jackson.
That's how you would.
Yeah.
That's how you would talk to a cat.
He's been emboldened by the video.
And the wig.
His confidence is sky high right now.
The video was a big hit, Roy.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
You
I'm sure
exceeded.
everybody happy. Yeah.
You exceeded.
Hockey media's picked up on your Bobrovsky interview.
Yeah.
Spreading like wildfire.
They loved us in Toronto.
Roy, we could not have spent enough on that video. It deserved
Financially speaking.
more budget. Yes, of you eating and drinking in Toronto.
It cost us everything.
Yeah. It's always the Stanley Cup final.
Let's play for Ron Magill this video of a lion in a Bentley convertible. Tell me what's happening here, Ron. You're always telling us, people stop being stupid. This stuff is stupid. But do they think they have a sedated lion, or they have a lion that's not big enough to actually kill anybody?
Yeah, that's obviously a subadult lion, but wherever that is, it should be illegal. I don't think you're allowed to keep lions like that, even of that size. I think once they're over 25 pounds, in pretty much every state in the country, they're supposed to be secure in an area that doesn't give them access to people. That's obviously not the case in a convertible Bentley. But, maybe because you drive a Bentley, you're allowed to break the rules.
Okay. Aggressive.
Eat the rich.
Thank you, Ron. We will talk to you again next week. Always good seeing you, sir.
Good luck in Vegas, guys.
Thank you. Mike has an impending feeling of dread. Our sponsors, they have been so loving, so helpful. We are genuinely humbled that the Circa has taken care of us the way that they have. No,
Yes.
this is going to be
Still time, by the way, to come on out and reserve your spots. And I saw that there was a big bump on that Thursday after the announcement of Wu-Tang Clan joining us
It's
out
pretty
there.
great.
It-
That's. I'm jealous that I'm not going to be there.
Well, there's still time for you to finesse your way in there, especially if David Samson gets his way. February 8th and 9th, 10 a.m. Pacific time start. Reserve your tickets now at circalasvegas.com/LeBatard.
And this impending sense of dread, one of our biggest sponsors is Game Time. They have been a huge supporter of everything that we're doing during all of this parasailing through the cosmos that lands at the Super Bowl now.
Yes, I'm feeling no dread when I land in Las Vegas because I'm just going to set my geotag to Las Vegas and see if I can scoop up some of these very overpriced Super Bowl tickets because I always like to do that. I got cruise through the Game Time to see what's what in town, and that's actually where I got tickets to see a really in-demand act at a very round, I don't know what I can say and what I cannot say, a very round venue that's all sorts, really, that's really eye-catching, but I actually legitimately did get my tickets to that via Game Time because I got to see the view from my seat. I knew that I had all-in pricing, so there were no funny games.
What were the fees like? Did
No,
they add tack on a
all-in
bunch of
pricing,
fees?
no surprises, incredible flash deals. The The price that you see is the price that you pay. And trust me, just because Game Time is aboard doesn't mean I don't check any of the other competitors. Well, guess what? Game Time, head and shoulders above everybody else, not just with price, customer service, in case you run into any issues. I love Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Do you think that Game Time would appreciate sponsoring Mike's impending sense of dread?
I don't feel comfortable sponsoring a very real issue. I know we're having fun, and that's just kind of how I play it off. I don't know what I'm feeling. Maybe it's the political climate. Maybe it's because I see November off in the distance like an oncoming train. Maybe it's because Baker Mayfield was eliminated in the NFC Championship. I don't know what it is, but I just don't feel great about it.
Could be sympathy pains for Joe Alwyn. Tortured Poets Department. Going to be a real issue for him.
I didn't get any of those references.
What is he
Taylor
talking
Swift, man.
about?
Where's that
Is that
guitar
Taylor
riff?
Swift?
Come on. Da-na-na-na-na. Sorry, I'll just play the hits.
I also got a lot of futures tickets riding on the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm kind of worried about Kyle
What?
Shanahan in a big game. Yeah, I believe. I keep telling
Really?
myself that, but it's just
No wonder. That's
how
your,
many windows can this Patrick Mahomes close? It's crazy.
That's your sense of dread right
So
there.
you're just scared of Patrick Mahomes and the amount
Patrick
of money
Mahomes
you're
as an
gonna lose on
underdog
the
has been
season?
so money.
That's
More
your
di-
impending
The more
series of dread.
dysfunctional Patrick Mahomes' family becomes, the better he plays.
Yeah, that or we could die in the airplane.
And so everything from the flight
We're
to
not
the game,
dying on the airplane, I
the
can
game
promise
result.
you.
All right, your words, God's ears.
Tony, I'm loaning you the power today.
Thank you, brother.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is presented by 1-800-Flowers.com. DraftKings official flowers for Valentine's.
For all the people at the company that Meadowlark Media is paying to be great at the making of content, this year, at least, the big winner in making content better than anyone else around here in a way that's award-winning is David Samson. David Samson beat out God Bless Football and everyone else, and not one but two of his podcasts were given not bronze or silver medal, gold medal, according to the Sports Podcast Award. He got Best Baseball Podcast. Why are you laughing?
The prestigious Sports Podcast Awards.
That's right. The unnamed,
They're the best
unsponsored.
because it has the word best in it.
That's right.
Sporties.
They're giving awards, though. Wait a minute. Are you alleging that Oddball should be more award-winning than the Sports Business Podcast of the Year and the Best Baseball Podcast of the Year? Nothing personal with David Samson?
That Oddball operates outside of the purview of mainstream society in your award shows.
Did you call him Dad?
Yeah, I heard him say
say
dad.
Yeah.
Which feels like both
Freudian slip.
very appropriate and also not on purpose.
Look, I am his boss in this situation, and he's winning fewer awards than David
we should
Samson.
clarify, me and Amin have been sitting here doing this show, and Amin and I have been like telepathically joking about how Dan is our immigrant dad. Our second
'cause one
immigrant
wasn't
dad.
enough.
And Amin just said it out loud in a way that really does feel more real and true accidentally than anything else has been said so far.
I misspoke. Allow me to say it again. Father, Oddball operates outside the purview of the mainstream award shows, navel gazing. That's what people who are of little substance strive for. You know what we strive for? The streets, the people, the hearts and minds.
The Tony Show does the same thing.
That's why I like the Tony
Well, but
Show.
this is so, Mike, I need some help here. This is a problem that I have, I would say, throughout Meadowlark Media, throughout our universe, really. David Samson is hurt that he's not a part of any of our Super Bowl coverage this week. Like, legitimately wounded that you called him, evidently, you called him and said, you're not needed this week as the company is having a giant party, and he wanted to help, and he texted me.
He didn't want to help.
He
wanted to be in Vegas for the Super Bowl.
He texted me the other day, I would have done shows from Vegas at 5 a.m. in order to be a part of what it is that you guys are doing, and you're telling me that you don't even need me. And I said, I asked David in the planning of all this, because this has taken months of planning, I asked and was told there is no studio space for you anywhere this week to do nothing personal, and that's the reason you're not a part of our coverage. But I don't know if that's the truth. That's what I heard.
No, the truth is we don't need the baseball or sports business guy out there.
I'm not going.
Amin's not going.
I'm not going.
And for a guy that has a show and built his whole like appeal on don't take it personal, it's just business. Boy, I got to navigate through his feelings a bunch.
Samson did ask me, am I going to the Super Bowl? Now I understand why he asked me. It's because he was not asked to go.
He was trying to build a case. That's what he was doing. See, Papa, the thing you got to learn about David Samson is everything has like an ulterior motive to the question. It's not just hey, curious, Pablo, you going to the Super Bowl? It's like,
okay, so I want to ask you guys, as the people running our business, we are a successful business, Meadowlark Media, funded by this show, enjoying the Super Bowl right now. I needed David Samson's help with some of the business things. Evidently, lebatardaf.com is killing it. Like all of a sudden, our merch store, no complaints, no problems. Everybody is happy because David Samson is handling the merch stuff, and David Samson is good at some of the business stuff. But he wants to be involved with the Tony Show. He doesn't want to be on the chats during things that we're doing. He feels excluded from our universe. He feels like he's not welcome here.
He's on our show every week.
Twice?
Yeah.
Twice?
Yeah. And
How is he excluded?
And David, you'll be a part of this week's content. We'll get you and Adnan together, and you can do a top 5, dueling top 5 on football movies. I'll throw him a bone.
But he wants to be around the party. The company is celebrating something this week.
Why do we have to worry about every individual's feelings?
Padre, you've got to learn something about business.
Ethan Hunt in that you care about the one life so much, and this is the type of company that we're running?
Amin, Pablo, and Mike can speak uniquely to how do you build a company with a soul unless you care about everyone's feelings?
Yeah. Well, how's this going?
Not great.
Okay.
It doesn't feel great.
He's a grown-up. Congrats on the success.
That is, I mean, look, that's
Those are
impressive.
two. Look,
That's
man,
impressive.
nobody else
Two
won
first
anything.
place
He won
finishes.
2 best baseball podcasts. That's hard to do, Mike.
Not for that.
Mike?
Au contraire, mon père.
What?
Au contraire, mon père.
I have in our arsenal.
It
Look at all,
rewards go-getters that actively campaign for those things. It's a very political
God bless
process.
football didn't win this year, and they were campaigning,
Right, but they got nominated.
but they didn't win.
Okay, they've won previously.
But David Samson won 2 of them. He won best, and it was his second place. He won.
Please
2.
introduce him as such. 2-time winner. What?
won?
What does it matter? Okay, I'm great. I love that that's in our family, but it doesn't make sense for the Super Bowl.
What does the sporties matter?
Okay, so you've got
Samson is so mad right now.
He's
He's listening to this, and he's
David,
like,
but it's just like, why aren't the Cooligans there either? Well, because we're not talking about soccer.
No, they have a football podcast. It should be out there.
You guys don't think he has a reason to feel excluded from what we're doing around here
He's
all
not
the
excluded.
time?
He's going to be on with Adnan, and they're going to talk about football movies, and that'll be that.
Pablo, you know David Samson better than
do.
anyone in this room.
I
You have
know.
a clear reading. Let's do this, okay? Let's just do this.
I've been
Let's-
avoiding doing this,
let's
but
do
I guess we're doing
let's
this.
do it. I don't want to hide this anymore. I'm so tired of hiding this.
There we go.
I didn't
no,
want to do this.
no, we're here.
Let
now.
them know, Pop.
So this is the situation that we have at our company. David Samson is a really valuable resource, but feels like he is on the fringes of everything that we're doing around here because he wants to partake in things like the parties that look like damn fun without being on the fringes of the universe. He doesn't get to be one of the popular kids.
So start an NFL podcast. I don't understand. What, he's the baseball guy. He's a part of our show. He has a weekly presence. I haven't ever integrated someone as well into my show that has a show of their own like I've integrated David Samson. He is on every week. I know how to promote his podcast when it was on a rival company better than I ever knew how to promote Supodity even. So I don't know. It's not a valid complaint. I love David. He is a part of what we do. Doesn't make sense to travel to Las Vegas.
What David cares about and pays attention to and deciphers really expertly on the sporting class all the time is the press release. He pays attention to every punctuation mark, what noun is going ahead of this other name, how are we describing this? David Samson believes, the key to understanding him, one of them at least, is that nothing is an accident. And that if you are not doing something, it's because you're trying to send a message about what you are doing instead. And David believes, at so many junctures, he is being left out and minimized, despite, as Dan alluded to just recently, doing a show every single day alone.
It's so hard to do what he's doing. It is so hard to win awards talking to yourself for 50 minutes. Like, nobody listening to this knows how hard that is. No one can do it.
It's not that hard to win that.
I don't know about that, Baba.
No one can do it as a solo host. We don't have anyone else here who can do it, not at the company. Not one person who can do a solo show.
I would not want to do it. I would not. It's something that David has done. He's proved he could do it. He's won now multiple awards doing it, and he feels fundamentally like the thing he's been chasing his entire life, if I may speak for him.
It's the hardest thing. What he's doing every morning is the hardest thing. Nobody's doing that. Nobody.
And the irony of it is that he's doing it in order to get invited to do stuff with other people. And he feels like the cafeteria is still telling him that seats taken.
Not here.
Yeah, I don't know.
That lean across, like, no, someone's sitting here.
The cool kids won't let the guy who's the high achiever into the room. And y'all judge him. You're not likable. You're a corporate greedy guy, but he's doing a show every day that none of us could do, me included. I could not do that. I couldn't do that in my prime. I sure can do it now.
I know I couldn't talk about baseball for 10 minutes, let alone how long he does it.
And sports business? That shit's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
Woo.
That is hard. He does not do that by
knows his
himself.
shit.
He does that with Pablo Torre and John Skipper.
Well, no, but I think it was nothing personal that was winning the award for best sports business show. It wasn't Pablo. Pablo didn't get shit.
Wait,
No,
I
he
didn't?
got an award from
I
the big
did-
lead.
Oh, thank you.
That's a different
I
award
thought I'd won
category.
a second award.
Oh, the
now I
ladies.
realize I've only won
you
one
won Best
award.
Podcast Ever or something
That's
like that?
right.
I mean, I won an Emmy.
Ooh,
Okay.
off the top rope.
I mean,
Regional.
Yeah, state one.
Jeremy might be able to do a solo show.
yeah, I would.
I wouldn't listen to it.
He does do
No
it.
one listens to David.
He does do a solo show. Miami mic'd up.
Yeah, I do.
Didn't you have Ian Carmel on recently?
Yeah, I did.
I wouldn't say that David's
You are
not
good.
listened
Thanks
to.
for the plug.
David is listened to. No, David's got a
If
following.
I could only
Yeah, he also
promote
hoards
other
shirts.
people as well as I promote David Samson's projects.
Can I ask this question? What is David Samson's audience base? Like, what kind of person is it? I know what kind of person
The
listens to
Samsonites?
LeBatard Show. No,
I think it's people who do want to learn. I think they can look past all the other. Be like, man, there's a lot of information I am
if I
not
can-
getting from the rest of the media here.
If I can make a case for why people actually do shockingly enjoy David Samson is because his sense of shame and humiliation is fundamentally not the same as ours. And so when that same person has done lots of things, been inside of rooms where big decisions are made authentically, like actually was in control of
Sold a
hiring and
team for
fire-
$1 billion.
So the reason I love hosting the sporting class is because between John Skipper and David Samson, we have people who actually have unique, like genuinely, not to trash every other sports business podcast, but those podcasts are not hosted by people who've made billion-dollar deals.
He built a stadium without a cost overrun or a delay. A stadium. Now he's running our merch store. He runs our merch store now.
And he steals shirts. Doesn't let any of us have our own name, image, or likeness.
Well, he
Ridiculous.
has. I don't know what the rules are of the merch store.
The rules are that we don't get anything for free.
Pablo, we can spend a lot of time talking
you know
about
how many
this. Pablo.
conversations
People
I've been
would
dragged
love
into
to see
about the merch
Do you know
store
how
in my
many
life?
public subsidies are funding this merch store?
People would love to hear the
It
innards.
goes so much deeper,
the
Dan, and
innards of this
darker.
company from Pablo's
It's
standpoint.
too much, man. The amount of real life time I've given to David and to you about stuff that actually doesn't make it into content, but is real and revealing, is there's just such a it's a weird OnlyFans account, that one. Just David Samson's like how he spends his time, because he helped. I don't even want to say it. He just spends so much of his time trying to help in ways that are deeper and more extensive and realer than anybody understands.
Loving, and you won't invite him to a single party.
Language, Daddy.